Diamonds here with a 2024 recap. Okay, we're gonna be going over things, events, just all type of things that happened during this year and things that we have accomplished and goals that we set out. The good, the bad, the ugly. I just feel like there's a lot of things that transpired during this year, and it's like, wow, we finally made it. We're finally here, the end of 2024, the end of the year. And I just really want everybody to just give themselves a round of applause. Okay, we made it. And there's a lot of things that we have, like I said, a lot of things that we have accomplished that we probably didn't even think that we were gonna do. Okay, a lot of things that we got done. And I just really want to give everyone their flowers, accept your own flowers. Because I feel like I said, there are some things that we probably didn't even think that we were going to do that we did. And we got to be thankful. We got to be grateful for those moments and those opportunities of revelation within ourselves. Okay. Um, just so good to see you. So good to see you too, sis. Welcome in. Going to be doing a recap of 2024. Just how far we have come. We're already at the end of the year. And this is why I think people say time is an illusion because it's like, wow, we're already in December. We're December 22nd. Literally 8 more days, 9 more days. This year is done. It's like I can't even fathom how fast this year went by. It's like we just were saying, Happy New Year's. We just were saying New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, you know, and now it felt like it was just summer. And then it's like, what? Like the holidays are here. We're at the end of the year. So this is just a really great time. I feel like when people reflect on how far they have come and things that they have done, how much they have grown. Like, what are some ways that you have grown? What are some things that you notice that you set out for yourself, goals that you set out for yourself that you accomplished? Like, one main thing that I set out for myself was to be more be more in gratitude. Okay, even if things aren't going my way, still have this positive attitude towards life. There's so much to be thankful for, there's so much to be grateful for, and someone is always doing worse. Okay, someone woke up this rising and lost a family member. They're in mourning, and that I wish everyone out there, sending my love and light to everyone. But like I said, this is always a great time to just be in gratitude, being thankful for what it is that we have, and being optimistic, even for the little things. And another goal, peace to the tribe, peace. Another thing was just I've set goals out this year, and every goal that I set, it went way past what I intended to do. So I guess just really tapping into my self-worth and learning that I am worth more than I could ever imagine. I can't, like, I'm priceless, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that everyone should value of self-worth, self-love, really just valuing yourself to a high standard. Now, not saying that, not in this ego, not in this arrogant way, but this knowing who I am, knowing my worth in a sense. Okay. And then I feel like um this healing process has just been amazing. I'm just so grateful for how far I have come, things that I've learned, how much I've grown. And I really feel like this was the year of self growth for everyone. Like, I feel like there's what's one major thing that you could take away from this year that you taught yourself? What's some things that you taught yourself? Okay. Some things that you learned about yourself going inward. Okay. One thing I learned was I don't have it all together. Okay. I'll try to practice self control, self discipline, but sometimes I get mad. Sometimes I get angry. Okay. And sometimes I lash out, and that's okay because I am still a human, and that is a human emotion. Um, but what I'm learning to work on is how I react to certain situations when things aren't going my way. Um, and I feel like that's a big thing I've been really working on, but not taking away from the essence of being in that emotion as well. Like, I don't want, let's say, for instance, I'm working on so much self discipline and I'm in my Zen mode and somebody come and slap me. Okay. I don't want to be in so much of a Zen mode that I'm not honoring myself. I'm not going to let nobody disrespect me, but I'm also not going to step out of character, okay? I'm going to defend myself if necessary, but I don't never want to be pulled out of my element. I still want to operate from my true integrity, from my sense of self, but don't get it twisted. Like Tupac said, I ain't a killer, but don't push me, okay? And that's a sense of just having respect for me, no being disrespectful, and just operating from your highest light. I'm still humble as a butterfly, sweet as a butterfly, sweet as a rose, but those roses have thorns, and if you aren't careful where you touch the rose, then you could get pricked. Okay. So I feel like this is an ever ending journey of just learning ourselves, growth. And I really want to start off with you said appreciation using emotions at our advantage is developed over time. Yes, yes. I feel like this kind of stems back to our conversation as well with the child, with the children, with our inner child. I feel like that has been another big thing with our inner child, really connecting with their inner child. And what, tapping back into that nostalgia, tapping back into what makes you happy when you were a kid, doing things that made you happy. Now we always want to do things that made us happy, but also those traumas, those triggers, when you weren't heard, when you were silenced, when you were in trouble, when you got disciplined. We all have this shadow aspect to our inner child. We all have this shadow aspect to our inner teen. We all have this shadow aspect to ourselves as human beings. And it's all about how do you react? How are you healing? How are you working on that? And um, how are you letting that speak out into the world in a positive way, okay? Because you never want to just lash out for no reason. Oh, I never got what I wanted. So whenever I get what I want, I'm going to boast and be arrogant. And no, you still want to humble yourself and give thanks, but you still want to celebrate. So I feel like it's just this great balance between, like you said, the emotions, our inner child, and finding what makes us happy and just standing firm on that, doing what we love to do. I feel like that has been another big thing this year for me is just not holding on to anything, letting go, releasing and surrendering and trusting and knowing that the divine has us, has our hearts at best interest. Whether it's going against what we want, okay, it may be what we want, but is that something that we need? Okay, it's a difference between wanting something and needing something. Like, I want that piece of cake, but do I really need it? No, I do need air though. I do need air to breathe. So I want to make sure that I'm doing the proper things to get what I need. And I know spirit is always going to lead me down the right path. And I feel like that's what this journey has been this whole year, is it's just going down this path, this road, this enlightened road. And sometimes when we bump our head, sometimes when we go get a little took off course, spirit is like, nope, go this way. Like you're getting off track again. And you're like, okay, well, ooh, this looks nice. Spirit's like, nope, you getting off track again. Like you're getting distracted. Don't get distracted. Okay, we're gonna dangle this little carrot in front of you, but don't get distracted. And I feel like this has been this journey of knowing who you are, getting in tune with who you are, and nourishing that seed that lies within, and being in tune with who you are, who you truly are, all aspects. Bruce Lee said, letting go may sound so simple, but rarely is it a one time thing. And that's so true. Like, a lot of things are easier said than done, but it's all about, they say you build a habit, making a habit, you keep doing it over and over and over, repetition, cycles, completing a cycle. Um, and I feel like that's what consistency, the more consistent you are, okay, you've been told all your life, you can't do a certain thing. So now when you go to do it, you feel with this doubt, you feel with this worry, you feel with this weight, but you're like, you know what, I can do it. Like working out, right? I feel like working out is such big thing, especially when you're first starting. It's like, okay, day one working out. Let me build these weights. Let me lift up stuff. Let me stretch. That second day, you're sore, the body's sore, and you're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do this. Even in the midst of it, it depends on how far you are with your health, getting in tune with yourself. Some people may throw up, because their body's like, this is such a shock. We don't even know how to react. We're just going to throw up. You know what I mean? Some people pass out. Some people are like, okay, this feels good. But everybody bodies react differently to working out, to starting a new habit, to this new sense of self, getting in tune with yourself. And I like to think of building a habit as working out. You're doing it for a better cause in the long run. You're doing it for something in the future. You're not going to see it now. Like if I lift a 100-pound weight today, I'm not going to see the results of that, but repetition, we're working on it, we're continuing to do it. Not even every day, at least every other day, but staying consistent, I will see results. And I'll say about maybe 3 months, you'll see the real definition of a muscle. You'll see that real growth. But you will see little signs and little steps. And I also feel like that's another thing that we've been going over this year, building on this year. It's kind of like working out, doing a spiritual workout in a sense. I know that was something that I used to do, getting in tune with my gifts. Okay, I'm like, okay, you know what? If I hear intuition say one thing, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to question it. And we're going to see what happens. And more and more I did that, the more and more my intuition will get on point. And it got to the point where I wouldn't question it. I was trying to build trust with my spirit, build that communication. And it's to the point where I just hear crazy stuff and I'll just say it. And it may sound crazy, but give it some time, it all comes to pass, or it'll happen immediately right after I say it, or somebody on the TV will say it, or like it just be crazy synchronicity. So I always feel like just keep listening to your spirit, keep working on building those habits. I feel like that's been a major thing that we've been getting in tune with this year, is getting in tune with our spirits, no matter what they may look like. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with um some things that happened January of this year for me. And I feel like this may resonate with the collective because it's a very general statement. But I feel like in January, we were entering the unknown, starting goals, and leaving things behind. Okay. So I say that because New Year's is always new year, new me. This elevation. I'm like I said, that working out. A lot of people always like to start off working out. I'm gonna get into my health. I'm gonna get in my mind. I'm gonna get in my body. I'm gonna become one. You say it right. Yeah, I always feel like we're just kind of like leaving the past behind, leaving things that happened last year, staying last year, right? But it's also this sense of self. When I think of the number one is self, one is knowledge, and it's all about getting in tune with yourself. Like I said, that self mastery, um, and also really tuning in with that sense of wisdom, that sense of who am I? What do I want? What goals do I want to accomplish? People like to set out their New Year's resolution. What are some goals that you would like to accomplish for this whole year? And I really want everybody to reflect back on those New Year resolutions that they have for the beginning of this year. Did you accomplish any of those things? Did you over exceed some of the things that you had set out to accomplish? Um, and really think about that. Like, really think about, okay, why did I set this goal? Was it something too far fetched? Did you set too low of a bar? Really tune in with yourself and why you set that goal, and center it in your heart, center in well, why didn't I reach higher? Why didn't I shoot for the stars and, really set my trajectory high if you set your bar too low? And if you set your bar too high and you didn't hit your mark, well, how close did you come to hitting it? Um, for me, I know I set my bar too low, okay? I set my bar extremely low. I had, like I said, I've been working on self-love for a very long time, just really getting into myself, finding out who I am, being comfortable with who I am. Um, and I feel like in the beginning of this year, I was lost, okay? So, he said, hi, mine was ongoing for health, but I got so many more bonuses of emotional healing. Yes, I love that. So you set yours just medium. You was like, okay, we're gonna put it right here in the middle. And if we go over it, we go over it. I know I'm gonna go over it, but we just gonna see how far it goes. I love that. It's a sense of working on emotional mastery, right? And knowing who you are and not putting too much on yourself as well. I know, like, for me, I just was like, okay, I want to work with a celebrity for my brand. Just started my YouTube. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna start this YouTube. I don't know why Spirit got me making this YouTube, but we're gonna see how far this goes. And it was just setting new goals, setting new aspirations for myself to reach higher and go higher. I get it, small steps. Yes, yes. Taking those small steps, planting the seed, if you will. Like that one seed, the embryo, the first step, okay, is planting the seed, right? I also feel like this is attuned to Capricorn energy. Okay, really getting things done. Like I said, that goat. We not the sheep. We are the goat, and looking at things from that higher perspective. Okay, we conquered the top of the mountain. Looking over. Now, what's next? Okay, you've completed that year. What's next for the next year? And what are some things that you really want to set out for yourself? And I really like to think back to the beginning of this year with this recap, with this reflection on 2024. What were we doing January 1st, 2024? What goals do we have set? Did we accomplish those goals? And why do we make those goals? Was it for self validation? Was it for external validation? Was it for healing? Really think about that. And that's kind of like a self reflecting type of note, just to see where it guided you. Where did that first seed that you planted guided you and bloomed to where we are at now in this day and age, which it still blows my mind that, like I said, we're in the last month of 2024. So yeah, then we have February, okay? February, this is Aquarius season. This is the second month. February is all about values, values of self, and values of love. We have Valentine's Day, making sure that your foundation is set, and making sure that your money is flowing in right. Okay, how am I working? Am I getting work done? And how are things progressing? Okay, I said February, we seen things that you did last year start to bloom and you start to receive your flowers. So I feel like for many of us, we're late bloomers. I know I was a late bloomer. Okay, I just came into consciousness. I haven't been conscious all my life, like many people in the conscious community. Like, say, shout out to KT, the arts degree. He is someone who's been conscious since the womb. You know what I mean? Growing up with Dr. Savy in their life, these are people who, you know, they were brought into this through birth, and this wasn't something that I was brought into. This is something I had to learn on my own. I had to learn how to heal myself with food. I wasn't, not saying that my parents and my family did the best they could, and I thank them so much for that. But it's a lot of things that they didn't know, so I didn't know. And so on this journey of tapping into wisdom, because wisdom is number two in supreme mathematics, numerology, what are things that you were doing to gain wisdom? Okay, applying that knowledge that you learned. And I feel like a lot of things that happened in 2023, we may have planted a lot of seeds, but those seeds were starting to bloom late. Okay, and that's something that I noticed within myself with my business. Okay, um, like I said, I wanted to really work with a few celebrities, and I planted a lot of seeds last year, just, posting, giving away, going to LA, going to Miami, going to different locations, just getting my brand out there, really being my authentic self and spreading love and light. And then I did that all year, didn't see any results until February. I seen a peak at that when Willow Smith hit me, and she hit me in my DMs like, "Hey, I love your jewelry," and it blew my mind. So I was like, "Whoa, okay!" All of those seeds that I planted last year were starting to bloom. They were starting to come forth. So I take this as, in February, what are some things that you did in 2023 that you seen growth from? Okay, you may have left a lot of things back in the past, the bad things, but what are some of the good things that you did take from 2023 and you started to see grow and evolve and bloom and nurture and build on? Okay, because 1 plus 1 equals 2, and you need the one and the one to make the two. So that's building, that's a sense of growing, a sense of evolution to the foundation. So in February, I feel like we started to see a lot of things that we worked hard for starting to bloom, starting to take a peek at a little bit of our harvest of this year. Okay. Um, then I feel like that's all about that Aquarius energy. Okay. Aquarius is all about that I know. So getting a little bit more confident in who you are when it came to that February energy. Also, love blooming, romance is blooming um, with counterparts, because two is also partners. Your journey may have been tough, but is beautifully written. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like we all have our trials and our tribulations. We all have our different things that we had to overcome and push through and get through to be to where we are today. So I feel like we all should give ourselves a huge pat on the back, because 2023 was a really rough year, and I'm gonna say these last 4 years have been pretty hard, you know what I mean? And if you're still here today with your mind intact, with your heart intact, with your spirit intact, like, give yourself a round of applause, because it has not been made easy for nobody. Everything is just increasing in price, increasing in, you know, obstacles and distractions. It feels like everything is on 10. It feels like they got the CERN machine on 1,000. The 5G is on 10,000 G. And it's just like we got drones, we got aliens, we got the aliens in the mall. Like, it was just all type of crazy things going on. And it's really hard to focus with all the distractions. So sometimes you really just have to go within and get in tune with yourself and know that spirit will guide you, and know that spirit is leading you in the right place, which takes me into March, this March energy, marching into spring, marching in the right direction, marching in the right place, that chariot energy, moving forward. And 3 is all about understanding. Is all about, after the knowledge that you gain, after the wisdom that you gain, do you have a sense of understanding? Okay, I've put in all of this work, but what am I doing it for? Okay, I understand that if I plant the seed, if I nourish the seed, that it will grow. I understand that if I apply the knowledge and turn the knowledge into wisdom, then I can make it useful. Okay, and it's also that Pisces energy um, coming into that March energy, because it's the sense of old cycles ending, new cycles beginning, tapping into the mind and where you're headed to move forward, because Pisces is the feet. Pisces is that march, that moving forward energy. And I feel like if you have been nourishing yourself the right way, getting in tune with who you are, then you'll be prevailing. You were prevailing and starting to see a lot of things bloom and grow in March. And I said for March, tap into your powers and seeing a glimpse of your gifts and lots of confirmation. So, what are some things in March that you started to see lots of confirmation on? Okay. A lot of sign symbols and synchronicities. One thing that I noticed is the birds. Like whenever I would go outside, I will always see lots of birds, and it would almost get to the point where I'm like, are these birds following me? Are these birds following me? Like, where do all of these birds come from? And then it got to the point with feathers. I would find a lot of feathers, and I would see a lot of hummingbirds, see a lot of blue jays, just different vultures, hawks, turkeys. I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. But that's the way that spirit loves to communicate with us. It's through the signs, it's through the symbols, it's through the synchronicities, and also spiritual gifts becoming in heightened at this time. Okay. Started to see a glimpse of that channeling that I've been heavily tapping into. It's kind of trippy. Birds can represent the soul, especially in the afterlife. Yes, they're most definitely communicated. Crows, I've been seeing a lot of crows. Those are most definitely messengers for the underworld, the spiritual world, the getting in tune with um, just this power. You said accepting of my gifts and purpose helped me to march forward in courage and confidence. Yes, I love that. Symbols of freedom. Yes. So I feel like we were just growing and blooming and tapping into ourselves to set ourselves free. And freedom of the spirit, knowing that even though we're in the system, right? We're in the system, we still have freedom of heart. We still have freedom of our mind. We still have free will. Even though we're in a system, even though we may be confined in certain restrictions, we still have free will to do whatever, to do whatever we want. Now, for every action, there's a reaction, yes, but you still have the freedom of choice. You still have the freedom of speech. Whether people agree with it or not, you can still go in the forest, scream to the top of your lungs, and set yourself free to release whatever you want. Okay, so I love that whole aspect of marching forward into our freedom, because that brings us into the fourth month, which is Aries. And four is all about that culture, four is all about that freedom. And I feel like the more we tap into our minds, because Aries is governed by the mind, we get in tune with our bodies. The mind governs everything. Mind is matter. And if you're thinking crazy things, 9 times out of 10 you might start doing crazy things if you ain't got no control over your brain. Okay, you know what, I can't stand when these bugs be all in my front yard. I'm about to just go outside with some rain and just spray them all. I'm about to spray them all. Or you can tap into a different perspective, like these bees are pollinating the flowers, so there can be more flowers, so there can be honey, so we can have the sweet things in life. So it's all about your perspective, and that all starts with the mind and how you're thinking. And that all starts with just a simple self-reflection, um a simple step back, a simple take back, a simple, let me take accountability for my action. Let me take accountability for my mind. Let me take accountability for my words before I speak. I don't want to say nothing that's impulsive off of reaction. I really want to wait to process it so I can respond in a sense. Okay. So I said, in April, we've seen a huge shift, transformation, ascension to higher timelines. And in Aries, we also had that eclipse. So perception versus perspective. Exactly. Looking at things from a higher perspective. That is how you tap into that freedom energy. And we all want to be set free when it comes to our minds. Okay. They beat themselves up daily about things. They have the self-sabotaging energy. They have, worries of the world, and they let other people's opinions get to them. Just me even thinking about them energy, it's like, no, like, I want to be free. Like the genie in Aladdin said, I want to be free from all the worries of the world, from all of the control. You want to have all of this power, but that power comes with responsibility. Great power comes great responsibility, and you want to have this sense of freedom, this freedom from the culture. And I feel like that eclipse really brought in a different perspective for the collective, that culture, for the just people. I really feel like there was a lot of different perspectives on the eclipse. What do you guys think the eclipse was? Okay, I would love to hear you guys' opinions and what happened and what did you see shift during this time? What are some things that you literally watched the day before the eclipse, during the eclipse, and then after the eclipse? I feel like the game changing point for the universe when the eclipse happened, okay? And there's a lot of conspiracy theories around this eclipse energy, but whatever it was prominent that the energy has shifted. There's it was a no-brainer. You said it was a time portal. Most definitely. It was a huge shift in time, huge shift in dimensions. Um, I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's the black sun." So, and it's like, well, what comes with this black sun energy? That's the portal to the inner world, and the Argatha, the center of the earth. And you have to look at that from a whole bunch of different perspectives. If you're going to the center of the black sun, where is the inner earth for you? That's going internal. That's going within. That's deep diving and listening to that intuition. That's doing the inner work to match that solar sun with the black sun. It's giving me a yin yang, that yin yang, right? You can't have balance without order. You can't have order without balance. And it has to be both. It can't just be one thing. It's all of it. Okay. So yeah, it was just really just getting in tune with who you are and letting things shift that need to shift, letting things go that need to go. Um, and I know very fast. Like when the day before the eclipse, everybody was all happy go lucky. Yeah, the eclipse is coming. Eclipse. Everybody was like, yes, the eclipse. I'm going outside. I'm watching it. You got people are like, I'm not going outside. I'm not watching it. Then the day after the eclipse, it was like this heavy, dense energy you could cut with a knife. Like it was so much thick, dense energy. And that thick, dense energy has been here since the eclipse. So it was a sense of purging, a sense of releasing. I know a lot of people were unaliving themselves, unaliving people. It was just this purge. It felt like the purge was here. Purge, cleansing. And it's a sense of that Aries energy, that war energy, war on the minds, spiritual warfare, mental warfare. What's the other one? Psychological. No, not psychological. Um, Not chemical. Well, yeah, it is a sense of chemical warfare, but that's been going on. But we could go deep. I ain't gonna go too deep, but I just really feel like that eclipse in April, major shift, and it was to push us forward. A huge portal of ascension, a huge ascension portal for sure. Um, then we move into May. And I feel like May was all about tapping into your power, that 5, tapping into power or tapping into refinement. You said the black hole, the black rabbit hole. Yes, Bruce Lee, exactly. Going down that rabbit hole, going down in the black hole and going down, going internal, going in the earth. That's still going within. I always like to think of crystals when I think of the inner earth because a lot of crystals reside in the earth, but you have to go within to find the crystals. So yes, but yeah, power, tapping into your power, or refining yourself, doing things to get in tune with yourself during this May season. How that spring solstice season brought about Exactly, gathering of the masters, coming in with the culture, going back into that culture. So the gathering up the people, gathering up the culture, so we can move towards our freedom, spiritual freedom, mental freedom, right? Um, but yeah, I said in May, we've seen lots of signs, symbols, and synchronicities that you're on the right path, divine communication, intervention, and inner vision. Okay, so in May, do you recall seeing something that really let you know that you were on the right path, that you were doing the right thing, that everything you've been, working on, dreaming of, wishing of, was coming true. Everything that you said was coming to pass. I know that was a lot of things in May that happened for me. I was seeing a lot of things come to pass. I was getting a lot of visions, a lot of divine intervention as well. So I don't know if you guys could recall May, but May, May, April showers bring May flowers. So you were starting to see a lot of things bloom. And I feel like there were spiritual things internally, like I said, tapping into that power. Or maybe you were going within, getting more refined, getting more in tune, maybe still working on yourself internally before you started to pop out for summer. I know that was something that I was working on too. I was more still behind closed doors, not really expressing myself fully, but seeing inclination on my gifts, and those gifts were being heightened at during May. I recall it like yesterday because I was waiting for May to come. Because Spirit was like, wait until summer. And this was right before summer. And then I started to see a lot of different signs that I was on the right path and getting a lot of recognition in the community for just spreading love and light. And I feel like that's what we're all here to do. We're all part of that soul collective to spread love and light in the midst of chaos, right? Okay. Then I said in June, abundance starts to pour in, spiritual and physical. Um, also said six is all about equality and balance. So going back into that equilibrium energy, what have you put in for the first half of this year? So from January to June, what seeds did you plant spiritually, physically? You should have started to see some type of peak at your harvest in June. So if you could recall, go back to June, like, what things popped up for me that gave me inclination that I'm on the right path, I'm on the right track. And for me, I had I have been really wanting to do this concert out here. It's called Outside Lands. And I applied, and I got in. So I was really shocked because they only had 10 people out of a million people from the Bay Area to go. And I was one of the 10. So I just felt really favored by the Most High. And it let me know that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right things to be selected for certain missions, selected to do certain things, and going places where others can't go, but being a beacon light and speaking for people who have the same desires, the same heart, part of the same soul tribe as me. All right. Because sometimes we have to come together as a community and trust in that one person to be the leader, 111 on the clock, to be the leader of the tribe. Like, okay, we all can't fit in that tiny ass hole to go to the top of the mountain. So who we selecting to be the one to go? And I felt like Spirit selected me to be of the voice of the people to go to that concert and um just send out good positive vibes. And I was like, wow. So I got selected, and I just sent me like, wow, I'm on the right path, I'm on the right mission to make my crystal jewelry, to do my readings, to 411111, yeah, 111 1111, make a wish. Okay. wishes and dreams are coming true. So this was most definitely a time where the abundance started to pour in spiritually and physically for the collective. Okay. Then I said July, um, 7 is that God like energy, right? And that's that Cancer energy. So making sure that foundation is right within yourself so you could tap into this God body, this God power. And I said in July, we were on top of the mountain. Goals, dreams, miracles started to come in and getting confirmation on those things. So this is kind of going back to what I was saying. Who are we going to select to go in and to reach to the top of the mountain? And I really feel like during July, we were just seeing lots of confirmation that we're in the right spiritual attunement, doing the right things, starting to see those goals that we set out in the beginning of the year start to actually come true. And those wishes and those desires starting to actually come true. Like if you like, okay, you know what? I want a 6-pack. If you made that your goal by January and you consistently worked out by July, you most definitely had a 6-pack. Okay, you probably had an 8-pack, but that's due to consistency. That's due to working on yourself and working on that God body, working on that mind, body, soul, and spirit, aligning all 7 of your chakras to reach that destination, to reach higher heights. You said trusting your instincts. Exactly. Trusting in yourself. Spirit told me it was my time to expose my gifts. Yes, yes. Listening to yourself, getting in tune with source, getting in tune with your higher self, and becoming one and listening. Not only listening, but actually doing what Spirit told you to do. Okay, because it's one thing to hear Spirit, like Spirit say, okay, get up. All right, get up for what? No, just do it. Okay, it's like soon as you get up, boom, a train come through. Oh, okay, well you just help me not get hit by the train. It's like not questioning what spirit is asking you to do, why it's asking you to do something, just doing it and trusting it and knowing that it is leading you in the right path. That what I feel like July was, that confirmation, that inner knowing, getting in tune with the ancestors, getting in tune with the most high, your higher self, spirit guides, whatever energy you work with, just getting in tune with that and becoming one with that in July. Okay. um then I said in August, as we approach August, this is hot summer, okay, hot like fire, Dylon, Dylon. August was most definitely either, because this is the 8, okay? So August is the 8, so it's either build or destroy. You were, whatever you've been building, this up from January to August, you will see that foundation nice and strong, or you will see something crumbling down to rebuild the right foundation that spirit wants you to tap into, okay? So I said July, I'm sorry, I said so August, better than you expected, wishes and dreams coming true. Okay, so August is most definitely a time where you should have seen those flowers in full bloom. You said, I think I was in LA at this time. Everything felt rushed. Okay. In August, yeah. So this was really just focusing in on what seeds did I plant? What did I do to lead me up to this point? This was really a time of that reflection, because we're like almost at the end of the year, really getting in tune with, okay, how did I get here? Like what was I doing to get to this point? What ducks did I have in a row? What seeds did I plant? So this was a really great time to just kind of like, wait a minute. Okay, I did this. I planted the seed. I gave it time to grow. I let it stay in the dark. I nourished it. I let it get sun, but it's still not growing. Okay, maybe it needs a little bit more nutrition. Maybe I need to leave it alone. Maybe I overwatered it. This is where we kind of like, that balance, that 8, doing like whatever you put in is going to come back to you, as above, so below, as within, so without, that karma, that 8, that infinity, right? That infinity sign. And this is also a time to transform. This is also a time to tap into your power and just really reflect on how am I doing things? Am I moving too fast? Am I moving too slow? This was really, yes, that my eye. This was really that time to just really kind of reflect on yourself and see what seeds have I planted and where have they taken me. Okay, I pushed this boat off a shore, and where am I at? I'm in the middle of the ocean. All right, so August, you should have, if you were planting the right seeds, you should have seen a big abundance growth. Or I reintroduced to Spirit Tribe in August. Yes, I was reintroduced to Spirit Tribe. Yes, exactly. Time of community, coming together with community, and tapping in and becoming one with Soul Tribe. I feel like that was most definitely a big thing during that time. Kind of like that beginning of that cycle, coming out of that July energy, that family, that Cancer energy, and moving into that Leo, that fire, that passion, that love, that heart, that children, that foundation. To come together, okay? And I feel like this was a time where, like, things that you had worked on, you were starting to see a really, good inclination that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Starting to see benefits from the rewards, starting to see those goals accomplished. No more being isolated, yes. And tapping into Soul Tribe, tapping into like minds, tapping into a community. There should have been some sense of inclination that you were on the right path, okay? And if you didn't feel like you were on the right path, this was the time to check, go within, okay, what do I need to reevaluate? Because we only got a couple more months in this year, and I want to make sure that I am on the right path so I can have steady coasting for the rest of this year, okay? But August for me was really great. Like I said, I did the concert, got way more abundance than I expected, had lots of just friends, families, partners coming into my life, business partners, uh, like love, just all type of different opportunities were presenting themselves to me. And I feel like that's because I was doing the internal work. I was getting the pendulum swing back of the work that I had put in, and it was coming back full force. So this was a real great time to kind of see that structure that you have built for the first 8 months. See a little bit of peak at that at this time, okay? Then I also said September is the ninth month, and this was looking within yourself, giving gratitude and things to work on. So that's kind of going back into what I said as well. If things weren't really blooming, I feel like that ninth month, that birth, that going within to this new cycle, really taking an introspective look of, okay, where are things at now? Okay, I want to give gratitude for how far that I've come. I want to be thankful for everything that I have. Okay, I want to be thankful for Soul Tribe, thankful for the people that I've come into encounter with. And I met these people for a reason. What was those reasons? They were here to teach me something, teach me a lesson. And what did I learn from that? What can I give back? It's a sense of reciprocity, because birth isn't just for the child, it's also for the mother, it's also for the parent. This child is going through this laborious time, and so is the parents. These parents is going through laborious time, but also it's not just about the birth, it's about those months leading up to the birth. How are you nourishing that child? How are you nourishing that seed? How are you nourishing that project? Whether it be work, art, yourself, spiritual, community, business, whatever, you should have seen like the birth or a renewed sense of self during this time. And I say that because um ninth month is also Virgo, and Virgos are very meticulous, very paying attention to details, are all about health. Health is mental health, spiritual health, physical health, and just getting really in tune with that. And wealth, okay? Because if you aren't healthy, you can't even tap into the wealth. You got $1 million, but you're sick, overweight, you're 600 pounds, you can't even spend your money. Like, what you gonna do? You got to make sure you have both. Health is wealth, and making sure that you're analyzing things, getting things in order, so that way you can continue to move forward with this new birth, okay? So in September, what were some things that you guys were really looking at to analyze? Like, okay, how can I move forward? What are some things that I need to work on? What are some, you said teach, thank you, appreciate it. What are some things that I can work on within myself? This is time to kind of go back into that self-reflective state and just be like, you know what? I've come really far and I want to just give thanks to how far I've come and not hold on to the negative things in life and what those negative things teach me at this time. Okay. All right, then I said October. Woo wee. October. Woo, going into that Scorpio energy, baby. That October. Who here remembers October? Okay, what happened to y'all in October? Man, we give me a second. Okay, so October, I said activation of your inner courage, strength, and test. Okay. October is the 10th month. 10 is all about cipher. Okay. So 10 is cipher because 10 is the 0 and the 1. And cipher is all about renewing the embryo, the aura, the cryostasis going within the seed, the bubble, and also that one of self. So getting in tune with yourself, resetting the values of yourself to get in tune to be the one to take that next step to rebuild, right? And also Libra energy. Libra is the 7th sign, and that's all about that balance, that relationship with yourself, relationship with others, and how are you moving forward with justice to have this victory at this time, okay? So, yeah, I feel like October was a great testimony. All right, I'll say that much. It was just a time to really go within, really trust yourself, really get in tune with yourself as you approach this autumn energy, this getting ready to let things go, to push forward and prevail. It's in October, I stepped out in ways that took courage. Yes, stepping out to take courage, to have this sense of justice, speaking your truth, and honoring yourself as well. And that takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of inner strength. That takes a lot of confidence to speak your truth, even though some other people may not resonate with that, or they may not believe that, but it's not for them. We're all entitled to our opinions. It's just about doing what you feel is right, speaking from the heart. The heart is that sense of courage, that inner light, and speaking from your heart and speaking your truth. That's also a way of connecting to your inner child and freeing that inner child as well and getting in tune with that energy. Okay, so yeah, I really loved October. I feel like October was a really great month to just push forward, push through, and prevail. And just kind of get ready for that Scorpio energy. Okay. This was just really time. It was kind of like the calm before the storm. I feel like the beginning of October was just very calm, very cool, very collected. You know, a few things came up. Peace to the tribe. Hello. Thank you so much for joining in. We're just going over things that happened during this year and reflecting and recapping on events. And we're tapping into November. Okay, November is the 11th month. And I feel like this was all about knowledge and wisdom going into that Scorpio season. That 8th sign was all about power, transformation, death, rebirth, power, mystery, mysterious things happening. Okay, and I said, November, tap into your higher self and using alchemy. Okay, so I feel like Scorpio season was a big game changer. I feel like there were a lot of tests that we may have to overcome, tapping into our courage. But if we use the right alchemy, if we tapped into that knowledge and that wisdom, then we turn that to understanding and we turn that into um, power. I feel like we were really doing the inner alchemy work to tap into our own power and get into confidence with ourselves, to have that divine union within ourselves, because Scorpio is all about that merging of self, that sex, that intercourse. But I feel like it is a mind and body and spirit that we all have to become one with to get into this divine alignment with the universe, with the earth, Okay, because if you're out of balance and out of alignment, if you're always in the cloud, then you're never grounded. But if you're always grounded, you're never able to look up. So it's always about this balance, this alchemy, using fire and water to make that boiling water so you can make you some super tea. Okay, you can't just have hot flames all the time, but you can't just be cold as ice. It has to be this balance. You have to know how to use alchemy the right way to blend, to be one, so you can elevate. And I feel like that's what November was all about. It was all about getting in tune with yourself and knowing how to use alchemy the right way. Okay. And what was like some tests that you guys overcame? Like think back to November. What was something that was really hard that you probably thought you was not going to overcome and you did it? Okay, so give yourself a pat on the back. I want to say congratulations to everyone because like I said, we made it, we did it. And this is moving into that December energy where we're at now. And it's all about reflecting that one and that two, that values of self, and makes that three, which is the Trinity. Okay. So it's all about getting aligned with yourself, but you have to reflect, you have to go back, you have to tap into the knowledge, you have to tap into the wisdom to have this understanding of self. Then that's how you get in tune with the Most High and you're able to move forward. And I said, December was reflecting on the good, the bad, and how to elevate, release, to keep ascending at this time. So I still feel like, we're still pushing through a lot of this energy at this time. But as we reflect, we really realize how far we have come, how victorious we are. Like, and nothing can really stop us when we really think about it. The only thing that can stop us is ourselves. And I feel like we've come too far to let anything stop us. Like we're spiritual warriors and we do this all the time. We come here and we always are victorious, no matter how hard the battle may seem. We always win the war. And I feel like the war is very spiritual right now, and it's all mental. And if you get your mental together and stay focused on the main goal, the main outcome, then you can accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish at this time. If you have consistency, if you use that strength, if you tap into community, if you tap into balance, if you tap into culture, just keep on growing. I salute you for all your facilitating my 2004 growth. I appreciate you as well. I feel like it's each one teach one. You learn things from me, I learn things from you, and it's a sense of reciprocity, okay? Take your time. You ain't missing out when you're building within. Yes, exactly, exactly. Give ourselves patience, give ourselves grace. I feel like sometimes we have to treat ourselves like newborns. Be very delicate with us. Like, that the little baby head is all bobbly, can't even hold up his own neck. So it's like you have to be gentle. You have to have patience. I feel like we have to look at ourselves like that sometimes, especially when we're going through a rebirth. That's why it's called a rebirth, especially spiritually. Okay, so give yourselves grace, give yourself a round of applause, and continue to aim higher, continue to reach higher. Even if it seems out of reach, oh well, like go for it. You never know. You never know. And I feel like Spirit is encouraging us to communicate with one another and share our stories to help enlighten and inspire and motivate one another, because you may be speaking something not knowing I'm learning from that as well, or I may have a similar experience that I may not have wanted to share, but you having that inner strength, that courage, and speaking out on it is giving me a sense of confidence, giving me a sense of reassurance within myself. And I love that. I feel like there's so much more in store for us as a community, as a collective, and we will only continue to grow, only continue to bloom. And I feel like going into this next year is going to be some amazing things for us spiritually because we've done the internal work now. This eight, okay, that 8 year. In the 8 year, what did you put in? What did you break out of to push forward? The year of the dragon, that Kundalini. And people think of Kundalini as, ooh, yeah, Kundalini. But if you haven't had a real Kundalini experience, then you don't know. There's a lot of purging that comes with the Kundalini rising, that comes with that Kundalini energy. When that Kundalini energy rises from that root chakra, purges, and you have to release all of your fears. All of these traumas come up, all of these exes, all of these memories, all of these, everything comes up, and you have to sit there and embrace it and release it and cry. Then it goes up to the sacral chakra. Then whatever traumas were there has to be addressed. Then you tap into that power. Then it goes up to the solar plexus. Then if you weren't confident, if you didn't have any strength, so there is a process in this 8 year. It's not all roses, it's not all dandelions, it's not all, but if you've been doing the alchemy work, if you've been tapping into your transformation and tap into your power, baby, I'm here to let you know, next year, 2025, in this 9 year, the serpent year, oh, it's going to be enlightenment. That's where, because the dragon is the kundalini rising, okay? That's not enlightenment. That's the clearing. That's the purging. When you reach the snake, that's the snake, the enlightenment. That's what the ancient Kemet, the ancient Egyptians had on their head. They reached enlightenment. And some people will have two snakes on their head because they mastered the lower kingdom and the higher kingdom. It's all about balance. So I feel like going into this 2024 energy, going into this leaving this 2024 energy, going into this 2025 energy, if you done the alchemy work, you will see so many beautiful gifts, so much recognition, so much confirmation from your peers, from family. You're already seeing it now. They're already giving you small flowers. Spirit is already giving you small flowers. Spirit is showing you different things that you have accomplished on a minor scale to a big scale. And I feel like things are going to be tripled next year. So I'm going to do a whole nother what to expect video for 2025. I just really wanted to, have a recap on things that we experienced this year. And I feel like this year was beautiful. It's very transformational and enlightening as we continue to tap into our inner divinity, tap into our inner light, and getting in tune with ourselves. I feel like that's the best gift of it all. You said, I received this message. Yeah, like that's the greatest gift of all, is knowing who I am, knowing my self worth, and never changing my integrity. Not even if you hold $1 million, I might think about it, but if it goes against my morals, if it goes against my integrity, I'm not letting nothing move me. I'm not going against spirit. I'm not going against nothing, and that what spirit wants. Spirit is gonna test you to see if your integrity could be swayed, to see if your heart will be swayed, to see if your integrity would be moved. What can I do to test you, to see if you're really strong enough for this next level? Because the next level is going to be people testing you, and you can't lash out and kill everybody, because then you can't go to jail, and you ain't gonna be able to spend none of the money that I'm trying to give you. Okay, so you got to be able to tap into the sense of discipline, the sense of structure, the sense of knowing who you are, knowing when to fight for your rights, okay? Knowing when to defend yourself and how to defend yourself, because you don't always got to punch somebody to get your point across. You don't, sometimes you can step away and be the higher person, and learn how to transmute that energy in a positive way, okay? Because sometimes we let our egos get the best of us. We let that, oh, you should have said this, oh, you should have. No, I'm just gonna release it because I don't even care about it. I'm about to go write, I'm about to go read, I'm about to go study, I'm about to go tap in with Soul Tribe. This is all about the alchemy. So I feel like that's what this 8 year was all about, getting in tune with ourselves to tap into our internal power. And what were some things that you have learned and grown, and what things are you looking forward to grow and learn next year? What are some more goals that you are already setting? If the opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Yes, create your own way. You are the master manifester. You are the magician. Okay, one of our favorite cards in tarot. You are the magician, and the 8 in tarot was the strength card. Okay, so that strength card was all about, with the infinity symbol over their head, and they're holding the mouth of the lion and not being afraid, knowing that spirit got you, knowing that you are led, and you have to have courage on this journey to do the alchemy work, to tap in with yourself and know who you are. And I feel like that's what this whole year was all about. All right, so I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for this beautiful build with me. I'm gonna come on and do some more like sessions like this, because I really love this. It's really helping me recap and look at things that we all have grown from. So Yes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what are some things that 2024 has shown you, you grown and you learned from. All right, you guys. Peace, love, and light. And until next